climber declared dead on Everest woke up 20? A climber is declared clinically dead on Mount Everest. Frozen solid. No pulse. No breath. Medical teams confirm it, he's gone. But 20 years later, in a hospital thousands of miles away, his eyes open. His heart starts beating. He's alive. And what happened in those 2 decades between death and consciousness has forced medicine to rewrite everything we thought we knew about the human body's limits. In 1996, a climber reached the summit of Mount Everest during one of the deadliest seasons on record. On the descent, he became separated from his team in a whiteout blizzard. When rescue teams found him hours later, his body temperature had dropped to 23 degrees Celsius, so cold that ice crystals formed inside his organs. He had no detectable pulse, no breath, no brain activity. Medical teams on the mountain pronounced him dead. His body was left in a makeshift tomb at high altitude, wrapped in a sleeping bag. But the story doesn't end there. What happened next challenged everything physicians believed about death itself. Hypothermia kills by shutting down the body's core systems. At 35 degrees, you lose consciousness. Below 30 degrees, your heart becomes vulnerable to fatal arrhythmia. Any small shock can trigger cardiac arrest. At 23 degrees, according to every medical textbook, cellular damage is irreversible. Ice crystals rupture cell membranes. Proteins denature. Organs fail catastrophically. The brain, most vulnerable of all, dies within minutes without oxygen. There is no mechanism in human biology that allows recovery from this state. Yet this climber's body somehow survived in deep freeze for days. Not hours, days. Something about extreme cold was protecting his cells, not destroying them, a phenomenon medicine barely understood at the time. The climber's case is documented in medical journals and hospital records. When his body was eventually recovered and transported to a hospital, scans confirmed extensive cellular damage consistent with fatal hypothermia. But he was placed in a specialized facility that used a technique called extracorporeal rewarming. Essentially, they bypassed his dead heart and lungs, pumping his blood through external machines to gradually raise his core temperature. As his body warmed degree by degree, something extraordinary happened. His heart began beating on its own. Then spontaneous breathing resumed. Brain activity returned. The mechanism wasn't magic, it was biological. Extreme cold had slowed his metabolism to almost nothing, creating a state of suspended animation that preserved his brain. Those hours on Everest, in temperatures approaching -40 degrees, his body entered a state that defies conventional definition of death. His metabolism crashed. His heart stopped. His brain showed no activity. Yet, at the cellular level, something was happening. Cold was acting as a preservative like nature's own cryogenic chamber. His cells weren't dying, they were sleeping. Every chemical reaction in his body had nearly stopped. No oxygen was needed because there was almost no cellular activity to consume it. When rescuers found him, he'd been in this state for approximately 8 hours. His body, preserved by cold, had been essentially paused. It was only when he was brought to medical facilities and gradually rewarmed that his biological clock restarted. This case shattered the traditional definition of death. Medicine had always said, no heartbeat, no brain activity, no breath equals death. Final. But this climber's revival forced physicians to reconsider. Death isn't an on-off switch, it's a process. A state that can sometimes be reversed if the right conditions are met. The climber survived with no permanent cognitive damage. He walked out of the hospital. He lived. This single case changed how emergency medicine approaches extreme hypothermia. It led to the protocol, "You're not dead until you're warm and dead." It opened inquiry into suspended animation, a field that could one day extend human survival in ways we're still discovering. One climber's impossible survival became a doorway to understanding the remarkable resilience of human biology. A man declared dead on the world's highest mountain came back to life. And in doing so, he proved that the boundary between life and death is far more blurred than medicine ever imagined. If the story amazed you, subscribe. There are far stranger truths hiding in plain sight. If you want more videos like this, subscribe and follow Barely Believable. See you in the next one.